My mill disrespected my no chicken request at my baby shower, so I went no contact. So my mill and I have never really gotten along, and when I say I have tried to get along with her, I've tried everything. I am not a drinker and I've learned to like beer for this whim, and so it's one less thing she can hate me for. I've apologized for things that I didn't do and I've let her walk all over me to try and keep the peace. She has never been supportive of my husband and I's relationship and has never taken my opinions, likes, or dislikes into consideration when she tries to do things for us. For example, when I was pregnant I just wanted one baby shower in a town where I live, which is 2 hours away from where Mill lives plus my husband's whole family, and she told me that was unacceptable and she was going to throw me another baby shower so her family didn't have to drive 2 hours. I told her I didn't understand what the big deal was to drive 2 hours where my family had to drive from a big town in northern MN, which is 6+ hours from where I live, and was planning on having the baby shower. Anyways, it comes the day of the baby shower, my mill throws and it's a mess. She asked for my opinion on food, theme, and dessert, and all of it is not even close to what I suggested wanted. I could not eat chicken throughout my whole pregnancy and that's what the main dish was. I told her I'd never had a tres leches cake before and I'd rather stick to my favorite flavor, lemon cake, and to top it off she had 3 different themes going on in the baby shower. I was so disappointed, I cried on the way home. To make matters worse, she asked us what brand of diapers we planned on using and told everyone the exact opposite of what we were planning on using because it wasn't the diaper brand she used for her kids, so I had to exchange boxes and boxes of diapers to the correct brand we wanted. Later on my husband asked what was wrong and I told him about the whole situation and he brought it up to his mom and she said she never recalled me telling her I only wanted one baby shower or me telling her I couldn't eat chicken or anything that she asked my opinions on. The disrespect still goes on. I had my baby shower pretty early on since I was at high risk for preeclampsia and in a premature birth, so we went to go visit his family a few months later and they don't have AC. Which is not a big deal because they have AC units around the house. We went to go visit on the hottest week of the summer, we are talking about 100+ degrees, and I asked if she could turn the AC units on because I was 8 months pregnant and the heat killed me, plus I have asthma, and got told no several times and I got scolded when I turned on the unit in the living room. We ended up leaving that night because I couldn't handle the heat and we went back home. A small detail that will come into play later is that we have a golden retriever with a very sensitive stomach that we do not feed human food, and when she is around him she will always give him scraps and then later he pukes and poops it out. We've asked her several times not to and she will not listen, and it's gotten to the point if we go and visit her, we don't even bring our dog. We also just recently got married and we decided to have a very small wedding. Less than 30 people as it was in our backyard, and neither my husband or I are very fancy and social people, so we didn't feel the need to have a big party. She invited additional family that we did not invite and we barely had enough food for everyone, and it was so upsetting to me because I didn't have my aunts uncles there, but she decided to invite her siblings. I brought it up to her and explained that I was not happy that she invited additional people and it wasn't fair for them to be there if I didn't have a chance to invite my family, and she pushed it off and never said anything. Mill also said some rude remarks about my parents who would do anything in the world for anyone in need, and that made me really upset. I feel like I am just rambling at this point, but I need to get everything out to people who don't know either parties to hear honest opinions. Let's cut to the part where I have my beautiful daughter. COVID and other diseases were popping up again, so the hospital sent me an email saying I was only allowed 2 people in the hospital with me while I was giving birth. Obvious choice, I chose my husband and my mother. She was so upset she couldn't be at the hospital or in the room when I gave birth. I tried explaining to her I did not even want my own mother there, but my husband wanted her to be there in case I regretted my decision later on, since it was set up as everyone needed to be there as I was admitted type of thing. I gave birth and the following day my dad and brother tried to stop in and they were allowed, but we never said anything to anyone because we did not want his whole family to show up and overwhelm me after such an emotional and traumatic event. We called her on our way home from the hospital and told her she was more than welcome to come the following day and meet her granddaughter, so she did. Word somehow got out that we had visitors and both of us apologized to her, saying that it was a last-minute thing we did not know was possible, and with her living so far away we did not even bring it up to her since we knew we were getting discharged. Again, we apologized and told her she was welcome to stay the night. She stayed the night and brought us a pizza, but she chose not to help with the baby or clean up, and I had to clean up after supper and her when she left. We weren't expecting to have her help with the baby, but something would have been nice besides holding her and then handing her off when the baby started to cry. She came and visited us the next weekend and she heard noises from our bedroom in the middle of the night and walked in on me pumping, just opened up the door and said, "Oh sorry, I thought I heard something." I was appalled that she had seen me in such a state. I didn't even let my own mother see me pumping. I never said anything to her or my husband because I was trying to keep the peace and not cross any lines of disrespect. May I also add in that this was the fourth time she had come to our house in the 2 years we lived there. The time before that was for her wedding and the time before that was because she was only 20 minutes away and decided she should come see the house after us living there for 5 months. I gave birth in November and made it very clear we were not traveling 2 hours in the snow with a newborn while I was still healing. I had a very complicated healing process and it took longer than most, but people were more than welcome to come visit us. Well, no one visited. Our daughter was over a month old before his dad and siblings came to see her, and that was after they canceled 3 times with previous plans when we changed our appointments and everything around for them to come visit. We decided to make a trip up there to my Mill's house when our daughter was 3 months old and vaccinated, and told her she could invite a few people over to meet baby as we were going to be back in a few weeks where even more people could meet her. That's not what happened. I got an alert from Facebook saying I was invited to an event by no other than my Mill, who decided to invite over 30 family never to her house to meet our kid without talking to us, her parents. This is when shit really hit the fan. Mill will not answer my texts or phone calls and never has unless it is in a group chat with my husband, so I went off. I told her that it was not okay to create an event and invite people without discussing it with the parents of the child, and I explained to her why that was not okay. Our daughter has a rare disease where she cannot have protein, and fun fact, that is in a lot of medicines. We decided to visit in the middle of RSV and flu season, that's why we wanted a few people, and I explained that baby could not have medicine if she were to get sick. I was not mean by anything when I explained what she did was not okay, and then she texted back that she can never do anything right and she would just cancel the event if that's what made me happy. This is when I did get snippy. I told her I was not there for her to play the victim and she needed to own up and apologize for what she did. Then I never heard from her. I felt bad by what I said and I told her that I understood she was excited for everyone to meet her first grandchild, but I wish she would have talked to us first before doing what she did. 2 nights later she calls my husband screaming. He put her on speaker and she just name calls me and says I am a terrible and mean human being, that she cannot believe that he married me. She proceeds to go on and calls me a controlling bitch, and he tells her to be quiet, and he put her in her place and stood up for me and told her she needed to watch what she said or he will hang up on her. To wrap this section up, I called her and apologized for how I handled the situation and said that it could have been done differently and hopefully that we can move past this. Nothing gets better. I never got an aloft from her and she decided to try and tag other people into the issue and blasted the text messages throughout the family and to close friends. We got told and shown proof that she did such a thing after we asked her to keep this issue between the 3 of us, as no one else needed to know that we were fighting. My husband was livid at this point and called her and went off. He brought up the fact that our child has a rare disease that she knows nothing about and she has chosen not to spend any time to get to know her granddaughter since we became mobile, and the only time she sees her is when we make the trip up there. He also said that he cannot trust her with our daughter if she were to ever babysit because she feeds our dog human food despite us telling her not to. There's no way she can follow an extensive list of what foods she can't have. He brings up the fact that family members point out she treats her daughter boyfriend of a few months there than her Dylan, her son's partner of years. She blames it on me and how it's my fault because I don't talk to her. I could prove text messages that I have sent trying to start conversations with her and get to know her, plus we were up there twice a month when I was pregnant to make sure they didn't feel left out. Then he brings up the fact that she shared those text messages, spin her the story and ruin my reputation with his family, and she cried and says she cannot believe that we would believe other people and not her because she would never lie to us. He explained to her that we were shown proof that she was lying and she hung up on us. Easter was approaching the corner and we originally had plans for them to come down and celebrate with us and my family at our house, and that we would look past what happened that weekend so it would not be awkward for everyone. We got told by her that she was not coming because she was utterly disrespected by the both of us and said some other things that were uncalled for. At this point I had been fed up with everything and told my husband I can't deal with it anymore, that it is killing me emotionally and it was starting to affect our marriage. We as a couple made the decision to go no contact, and he was the one that reached out and told her that was his decision and it was final, and when he was ready to talk to her again he would let her know. Unfortunately, this is just the big parts of what has happened over the years and I could go on and on. This has been the most peaceful time period of my life since we have gotten together and it's been wonderful. Anyways, his extended family, sisters, and some family friends say we are asses and should have never let it get to this point. Only a few family members, the ones that cannot stand Mill and the younger generation, say we are in the right and did what we needed to protect and keep the peace of our little family. So, are we the assholes?